Alright bro, so you messed up and you need to reset your life. Your life got boring as hell. Once upon a time, life was great. You found happiness in nature, you found happiness in your work, purpose and meaning. You would go and grab a coffee, and a coffee actually did something to your dopamine-fried brain. And you were tunnel visioned into your goals and into your mindset. The gym felt right. Everything was sunshines and rainbows, and life had color, to say the least. Then slowly things got mundane, boring, and even dreadful in your life. Your routines felt like it was a drag. You no longer had the motivation and the drive that you once had, and you low-key feel stuck as heck. Nothing that you try or do can give you back that feeling of motivation. And trust me, I've been there multiple times. I can relate to where you are right now, and you're in the stage of stagnation. You're in that final stage, and this video is for those of you who are in that final stage of stagnation, and I'm here to help you reset your life and build a life that you are proud of. Okay, now before we even get into the practical steps of building the life that you are proud of, I need to make two announcements. From here on out, this channel is going to have two types of videos. We're going to have the vlog style, where I'm going to be showing you guys more of my personal life and also documenting how I am solving the problems in my life and coming up with solutions, or more accurately put, experimenting with solutions. Now, all the vlogs could be very inspirational and give you an idea of how I am building a life that I am proud of. So I thought it would be smart to have sit-down videos where I'll be able to teach you guys exactly how to do what I am doing in my life, and that way you'll be able to apply it in your life and not just watch the vlogs and gain inspiration. So, in a nutshell, the vlogs are going to be a behind-the-scenes look into my life, but these videos are going to be how you can do the exact same thing in your life, and you can implement it with different strategies and things that I provide. Alright, so without further ado, let's begin on learning how to reset your life. Now, this is a protocol and usually a thing that I often do whenever I find myself trailing off into the distance of my purpose and not really feeling like life has kind of lost its color and lost its spark. So if you clicked onto this video, then your life probably went along the lines of something like, your life was great, you found happiness in your work, you were tunnel visioned into your goals, and life had color. Then slowly things got mundane, boring, and even dreadful. You no longer had the motivation and drive you once had weeks ago, and you feel stuck. Nothing you try gives you back that feeling of purpose and drive or clarity. And so now this video are for those of you that are between building something we're proud of and gaining input to build that thing that we're proud of. But somewhere along the lines, you lose track and things start trickling down in a negative way. So before we even get into the practical steps of what this video is going to be about, I do want to make a note that I am going to be starting my own newsletter, inshallah, and that's going to be linked down below. So in the newsletter that I'm linking down below, I go a lot more in depth on the creator economy and how to monetize the solutions that you come up with in your own life and how you can solve your own problems as well. So if you do decide to join the newsletter, you, along all the other readers that are going to be part of the newsletter, are going to have access behind the wall of what it looks like to build a business that you are proud of in the growing creator economy. All right, so before we even begin, I implore you to grab a pen and a paper and write down all the stuff that you learn in here so that you can look back at it, and I'm going to have some actionable steps towards the end of the video that you guys can walk yourself through to really help you move the needle forward in what you're trying to do. So step number one is to get clear on your goals. Very cliche, but what I do want to add over here is that goals are not for achieving anything. They are simply there to give you clarity and provide you direction on where you need to go. Know that you are always playing a game called life. Whether you're playing a game in society, in romantic relationships, in work, in the gym, you're always playing a game. If I was to hand you a controller to play a game, but you didn't understand what the heck the game was about or how to go about winning in the game, you are quite literally going to be running around in circles not knowing if you're making progress or not. So relatively, life is exactly the same. What you need to do is you need to zoom out, educate yourself on how to play the game and how to win, and then jump back into the character and then make progress from there. I want to make that very clear that if you play a game that you don't understand, you will not go anywhere. Now, going back to the part where I said you need to zoom out and pause, that's the part where you need to educate yourself on this life that you are trying to create, right? So if you have too much information, you get anxious. And if you don't have enough information to create the life that you're trying to build, you simply just get bored. I personally have fallen victim so much to the point where I went into analysis paralysis, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching can relate, where you just watch all these self-help gurus and you watch a lot of these videos on how to improve your life, that you just get more and more anxious because you haven't put that knowledge into action and actually started to build anything that you're proud of. Now, what you need to do is you need to find this sweet spot. Enjoyment in life comes from spending as much time as you can in that tunnel vision, in that edge. You're not bored, you're not anxious, you are on your edge. And that is the sweet spot. I'll give you a fitness analogy that a lot of us can relate to. So in bodybuilding, you're pushing your body to its limit, right? You're going into the gym and you're absolutely maximizing all of the output that your body can do. But then you are feeding yourself the right amount of the right foods, and that is known as your input. You're not flooding your system with bad foods or too much food that will make you feel groggy, and your performance in the gym is going to take a hit. So here you are maximizing the output, which is being in the gym, from the right amount of input, which is the right foods, and therefore you create an edge where your body makes progress towards a goal. It is very simple, but it's the exact same way to building your life. I want you guys to zoom out, and everything that you think about self-improvement and everything that you think about building your life, just erase it, okay? And I need you to understand that if you truly want to build a life that you are proud of, it is a dance between educating yourself on what you want, and we're going to get to that in a bit. It's educating yourself on your goals and like mapping out a system, and then putting it into action. And as you put it into action, experiment with the solutions, yada, 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 get back information, and then figure things out along the way. So that is step number 1, is to get clear on your goal. Get clear on what your ideal life looks like. Understand the input and the output and how that relates to the action that you take. Anyway, so let's move on, okay? Now, after you've identified your goal and you understand the whole input-output like structure and how to apply that into action, like the importance of that, you need to go back into your life and zoom out even more and look at what you've been doing in the past. Like, ask yourself, how did I get here? Like, in the state that I am right now, in the stagnation stage, what was that before? What are the bad habits and the good habits that led me to the position that I'm in right now? You need to reevaluate and restructure your routines and your day-to-day life, right? Now, in the process of understanding your good habits versus your bad habits, one of the best things that you can do and one of the best things that you can actually learn is how to self-educate yourself properly, because when you're trying to create your life, it's a pretty big deal. You're not just creating something small, you're creating quite literally the ideal life. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You're going to have to self-educate yourself on the topics that you need in order for you to move the needle a bit further. Because if you don't reevaluate yourself and you're able to identify the problems and then self-educate yourself on the solutions, you're just going to be on this endless loop and this endless cycle of just falling back into burnout and needing to reset your life. Because I'm speaking from experience here. If I had the video that I'm making right now 2 years ago, I would be much more ahead. Self-evaluation, you're going to need to self-educate yourself on the topics of your interests, whatever the heck it may be, so that you can start building the life that you're proud of. Okay, so now, moving on. We've spoken about getting clear on your goal and gaining clarity on what it is for you to look, what it looks like for you to win at life, right? You've identified your goal. You understand the importance of living on your edge, which is the input and the output, right? It's like a dance. It's the middle. It's the middle between the input and the output, and exercising that at an intense level. That's been established. And then now reevaluating your routines and your structure in your life, basically looking back, seeing what didn't work and how you can get good habits versus bad habits, right? And then very important over here, self-educating yourself on the good habits that you need to implement. So now we move on to the phase of actually building the life. So what I want you guys to do is take out a pen or a paper and write this down. You're going to want to create a plan of a course of action. So you're going to want to write down your morning routine, a focused work routine, other tasks and meetings. So things that can potentially come into your way, whether you want to schedule in like time for your friends or for your family, you took alone time for yourself. And then eventually you want to schedule in your night routine. Now, just make it vague. It doesn't have to be something that's super polished right now, because the process right now is after you've done all the other steps that I've spoken about before creating a plan. If you've done all of that, you should have some good understanding of where you want to take your life. And you should have a kind of like a rough draft of like this entire thing that I told you to write down should be kind of like a rough draft, right? As time goes on and as you implement these new routines, the morning routine, your focus routine, your tasks and your meetings, and like, your religious routine or whatever it may be, and then your night routine, you're going to understand through experimentation, finding the solutions for the problems that you're trying to solve, you're going to find better ways to do it. And as you find better ways to do it, you are going to go back to this paper that you're writing on, and you're going to keep refining that process until you get to the ideal future. Because the way to build your dream life is to map out your ideal life, sticking to the plan that you've written for yourself, identifying the problems that come along that journey, and then experimenting and figuring out the solutions for those problems. And then you just repeat that process over and over and over again until you are at your ideal future. Now do that for a week and I promise you that your life will get better. But don't get too caught up on just the beginning of identifying your goals. And everyone loves to talk about their goals and everyone loves to talk about what it looks like to win at life. But no one wants to reevaluate and restructure their routine. This is why cleaning your room is such a fundamental part of life, is because you look at your room and you see what is chaotic about it and you bring it to order, right? You see how your bed is not made. You see how the floor is not vacuumed, how you have like a pile of laundry in the corner. And then you go out and you set out to complete those tasks and you find the solutions to making your room in order. Life is the exact same way, and your work is the exact same way. Again, it's all about mapping out what the ideal future looks like and then setting out on a mission to go and figure out how to go and achieve it. And then just to keep refining that process over and over and over again. Keeping in mind that you need to be self-educating yourself on new information, but not so much that you get anxious and not too little that you get bored, but in that middle spot where you meet your edge. And that is how you reset your life and build one that you are truly proud for. So there it is, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was like the first of many. I kind of like this style where I just like turn on the camera and talk to you guys. Let me know down below in the comments of any thoughts that you guys have had during this video, or if there's any recommendations that you want me to speak on. I will see you guys in the next video, which is going to be a vlog. And again, another reminder is that the newsletter is going to be linked down below for those of you that want a more in-depth experience on the growing creator economy, how to build a business around having a personal brand. And then just like, I'll be sharing details behind the wall of like content and all that stuff, So if that type of stuff entices you and you're a reader, so yeah, that'll be in the link, and catch you guys later.